Hello, as usual. This is Third Eye Africa TV, and we are on to democracy in action. And usually, when there are elections, people are voted in because of promises done unto the electorate. Are they, or are the elected officials actually providing what PDP those days used to call dividends of democracy? Even if it's not PDP, we ought to be seeing dividends of democracy. We surrendered our rights, our votes, our everything to government with the intention that government will give us security, provide employment, give us social infrastructure here and there. But are they obtainable? And when people do go into alliances or coalition, should they win, what will always be the sharing formula when a government is formed? Or people just say, oh, let's try and remove a sitting government, and that's just the mission? When indeed it ought to be that those who will do the election, the voters, the electorate, the constituents, must be taken care of. We want to discuss issues in southern Kaduna, for example. So much neglected. Insecurity, no infrastructure, the federal roads are bad, you don't see institutions, federal, you don't see industries owned by state governments or even the federal government. What is wrong? What is happening in this region? One region that has over 50 different tribes. I'm talking of a geopolitical, a senatorial zone, not even a region. Look at the languages. To what extent are these harmonized to ensure there is peaceful coexistence in the senatorial zone, in Kaduna State, in Nigeria at large? My name is Ben Adam Shemang, your regular host on the program, and I have someone who, in terms of security, he's been there. In the academic world, he's been there. I have Major Aku Andrew AMBOSON. He's also a professor in terms of peace and conflict resolution. I want to welcome you, Prof, to Third Eye Africa TV.
It is my pleasure to be with you today. It's quite a long time we've seen.
Really?
Happy birthday to you.
And also happy birthday to
Thank you.
We share the same 1st January.
Yes, thank you so much.
Only that you came before independence.
I came before independence. I turned 70 1st January.
And I turned 63.
Oh, yes.
So 1st January.
You're a golden guy.
Well, first is first.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Now let's paint a general picture of southern Kaduna. It's always in the news. Some will say, oh, for bad reasons. Some will say for good reasons. Or there's nothing hard about them. What is it about southern Kaduna?
Southern Kaduna is a very beautiful place. But if you visit that place today, you'll not be happy because no industries, no serious empowerment. We have, if you talk of technocrats, we have them. We talk of retired military officers, we have them. We talk of politicians, we have them. But cropping back to give life to the area, it has been a major, major challenge to our people. In terms of business, our people are not into serious business. Look at the road from Kefi to Jos. It has been deplorable for so many years. Look at the road from Kaduna to Kafancan. It was during Yakubu Gowon's period when Muhammadu Shua, late General Shua, was Commissioner for Works that constructed that road. That road has not been reached. No one has thought of resurfacing that road. From Kaduna to Kafancan. From Kwe to Kafancan, you cannot even drive through that road now. It's just like a war zone. The area is completely neglected. I think the present government needs to visit that place. The president, they need to drive through that road. We have elected members. What are they doing?
Not to talk of Jos.
Not to talk of Jos. If you drive to Kefi, Akwanga, through my local government, Sanga, it's a horrible road. It's terrible. The whole of that area, enclave, is completely neglected by government.
So since you mentioned your local government, Sanga,
Yes.
you mentioned mine.
No.
Kaura.
I schooled in Kaura. I was in Kagoro, 1970 to 74. So I'm a product of Kagoro. I know the whole of that area. And I served Sukapu. I was secretary. I was PRO here for 4 years. So I know the whole area. We have over 56 tribes in southern Kaduna. But we've not had a leader. We need a leader who will come and say, okay, the time we had a leader, let's Ballard. Ballard came and then he left. We need someone who will come out and then people will follow him. Forget about tribe. Forget about religion.
Yeah, truly, when Isaiah Ballard, former Minister of State,
Yes.
walks, I remember the federal road from Jos, you pass
Yes.
Bukuru, pass through
Manchok.
Ganawuri.
Yes, through Manchok.
You know, that road is just so much full of potholes. So why is it that Minister of Works, for example, a main former governor, Minister of Works Housing, Works, his face is not there?
I think the attention is more on the oil producing areas. Attention has been the whole of Southern Kaduna, the 8 local government we have 94 precious stones. People don't even know. It's documented. And we're not even thinking of going back to mine. People are not involved in mining all those things. If people know, maybe the moment we remove our attention from oil, then people begin to think of mining. But look at the whole area. It's an agricultural zone. If you talk of ginger, if you talk of cassava, you talk of cocoyam, you talk of yam, there is quality yam in Kavanchan, the whole of that area. Clean yam you can pound. And the people are very peaceful.
Yes, before you come to that, still talking road network. Look at from Jere here, and again going to Kwai, then from Kwai to Kachia. These are terrible, very terrible roads.
I mentioned the whole place has been neglected. It's just like a war zone. If you look at it, people have been neglected, and maybe because of lack of contact with the presidency. The whole of Southern Kaduna now, if you look at the political narration today, you discover that all those from PDP, they moved to APC. So the movement would have brought in something. We have a senator, all the 3 senators from Kaduna, they've been PDP. Now they are moving to APC. Can we see a semblance of development in that area? We need projects there. We need roads. We need industry. This is the only way to remove unemployment. This is the only way to reduce insecurity in Southern Kaduna. And to be able to empower so many graduates roaming around doing nothing. We only have hotels in Kabantan. Why can't we turn them to schools? We need a polytechnic in Southern Kaduna. We don't have. We need human capital development in that area.
In fact, one would have thought that the Federal School of Statistics that is in Manchok can simply be converted into a federal polytechnic. But
the whole thing is about negotiation. Going to see them at the presidency or going to lobby the governor. You cannot see them and then wish that this is what you want. You must take an action. Look at the college education in Gidawa. It has been there for a long time. It can be turned to University of Education. But someone must have that idea. You must have a roadmap and then you must lead. It's negotiation. Politics is all about negotiation. And then control resources and human capital, human resources. Politics is all about power, control resources.
But now that there's this massive, huge movement, from PDP, other parties to APC, some people say they move because they want to be part of the center. Now, what therefore do we expect from this center?
Even if you move to the center and you are not given a good political appointment, you will just be there. You'll just be there to clap for them. Because the whole thing is about negotiation. Having the strength to negotiate. If we have a minister from South, yes, we have a minister today, Minister of Defense. We have a Minister of Defense. That means he has the leverage now to negotiate, to plead for a change, because you can't move to a party and then expect the party or the presidency to just give you projects. You must go there and tell them, what, you don't have this, we don't have dams in Southern Kaduna, we don't have roads in Southern Kaduna, we need empowerment centers in Southern Kaduna. All this must be, we must have them, and you must have data of our employed, and then graduate too, you must have data of them. How many schools do we have? Relevant schools. The University of Applied Sciences just came as a baby from nowhere. You saw how we went through it, and we've been celebrating it. Can the federal government give us a university? The whole of the northern part of the state is chock with so many institutions. Look at ABU, there's so many institutions there. But Southern Kaduna, we don't have institutions. The General Hospital in Kavancha was trying to federal. Can't government go and build a new federal medical center? We need a new federal medical center. 8 local governments were struggling in one place. So we need specialized hospitals there. We need specialized schools there. We need a Greek. Look at a school in Samarokata. That place would have been turned to a polytechnic. No one is talking about it. We can't wait for government. We have to move and send people to plead with government. All other thing is negotiation. That people have moved to APC. Yes, it is a good, but we can't all move to APC. Maybe because of hunger, people are moving there. You must have a vision for people. If I move there, what am I going to do to help my people? Because the help comes from the grassroots, right from the local government. Are we empowering the people from the local government? The local government chairmen and councillors were appointed by the governor. Did they go through a thorough rigor of election process? No. They were handpicked. So until we're able to redesign, look at what happened at the local level, because development starts from the local government. If the local government is developed, the state is developed. And if there is development in local government, there's going to be peace there. If many people are employed at the local government level, then we expect peace in the whole state. But the moment there is kidnapping here because of, we don't have ranches in Nigeria. We need to have ranches so that we'll be able to curtail the movement of headers. Because the moment they enter your farm, there's going to be crisis. They enter and destroy your cassava, destroy your yam, destroy your beans. And that's what happened in my local government about 3-4 months ago. Okay.
Now, but before we come into security or insecurity, still talking education, for example, if you look at the way, before independence, in Southern Kaduna, you could only have Government College Kagoro, you could only have that of Kachia.
Yes.
But every other one was owned by missionaries, and even except individuals.
Yes.
For example, TC Kagoro was owned by the ECWAS, so it was a kind of collected. They made it Teachers College from the ECWA. Then you move to College of Mary Immaculate, that is Kavanchan, yes, owned by the Catholics. And that school again, when it was snatched, it became Teachers College Kavanchan. Yes. Today, it is the Federal Technical College Kavanchan. So why is it that you just go and snatch, change name? You go to where you have the State University,
yes,
Jesus Kagoro, Kavanchan. Yes. You realize that it was actually owned by the Igbo community. They call it Igbo Grammar School. But it was collected from a private hand and turned to Government College, Kagoro. Then you go to Samaru Kataf. A Nupe man and his wife, a Briton, established that school, but it was collected and they changed the name to Tafawa Balewa Memorial College, Samaru Kataf.
Yes.
I mean, these Southern Kaduna people are over manipulated. You go to Fada Kaje, there was another St. Mary school, Fada Kaje. Yes. It was collected and changed to GSS, Fadankati.
Even Zonkwa, the same thing.
Zonkwa, St. Louis, they collected either the women's school or the GSS. I mean, what is wrong that they have to snatch, change them?
I think there are two things we need to look at. I think the first is that government were not sincere about it. They were not ready to establish schools in those areas. So they saw the basis because missionaries or voluntary institutions had already started school there. So they felt it was an opportunity for them to take over and then have the teachers and then start paying salaries. And I'm sure the second thing is that the vocational institutions or the missionaries, they hadn't the resources to pay. School fees was a big problem. I was in Kagoro Sunday School. Our school fees was 38 pounds or 36. 38 pounds. So if you're not for a wealthy home, you find it difficult to even pay school fees. So government took over those schools. They knew that infrastructure had been provided, so they just took over schools. It was an easy way for government. And that's why I say we need to pressurize government to establish schools right from the grassroots.
And the real honors, if you go to Government Girls Science School, Kwai, it's also owned by the ECWAS.
SIM.
Okay, you go to Kaduna, for example, where you have
St. John's.
St. John's.
Yes.
You know,
Queen Amina.
It becomes Rimi.
Yes.
Queen Amina used to be St. Anne's.
Yes.
You know, St. Peter's
the same thing.
Became a government college, Kaduna,
Yes.
and all that. Even with Sasa over there. I mean, so this idea of snatch, you find out that from my investigation, the owners are saying they never got compensations.
Okay, like our own school, if you have a strong alumni association, they can write for government to return those schools if they are going to manage them well. The whole thing is all about managing the schools. If you have good leadership in the alumni, they can manage. Like our school, when we did our sister anniversary, we work on that. But follow-up has been the major problem. Until you have a good national president who can focus on that and ensure that they visit the government and ask government to return the school to the old boys or the old girls and ensure they pay compensation. Like Kagoro, we had an airstrip, we had everything there. By 1972, we were supposed to have a HEC. But government, right from primary school, they took over schools in 1968. Local primary school were taken over by federal government. Then secondary school the government took over in 1972. And the fear was just being sure of spread of maybe religion or something like that. There's a paper I still have, Fafua wrote a long time. It was one of the fear government had. Spread of religion, spread of one faith within the region. That's why they took over schools in 1968. And it was not because of standard. I know when they took over schools that time, even 1972, the standard went down completely.
And if you check some social misdemeanors, some crimes, you know, religion at the point was that high. I mean, etiquette, the commandments were taught.
Yes.
But today you just see people, there's this lackadaisical approach to education, no teacher quality, no curriculum quality. Therefore, the students are also half-baked, you know. So how do we come out of this?
The whole thing has been ensured. We've politicized everything. We politicize, we use tribe, we use ethnicity, we use religion. These are some of the criteria we use in measuring placement in so many institutions, and that has reduced the quality of what we are talking about. No merit. There is no merit in our system. Until we're able to look at merit and look at people who are qualified to become teachers. If you have a graduate who they didn't read English or mathematics, and he gets a note from a senator or member house or state house or assembly, they give him employment. So until we have a focus and a roadmap for what we actually want as a nation, there must be a vision statement and mission statement for what we're doing as a people. And the same thing is affecting us in Southern Kaduna. When we're voting our leaders, maybe in Sukapu, we should be able to look at the vision statement. If you become the president of Sukapu, what are you going to do for the people? It's not about politics. And you know the whole thing, politically, even at the state level, the government will look at someone who is there, will Will he dance to our tune? Will he be able to bring people, more votes from that zone? Will he support our agenda? The support of our agenda means what? Can the government give the dividends as we're talking about? Can they provide dividends to people? When it is time for election, the people go there and share money. It's not about sharing of money. People want to see projects, realistic, tangible projects on the ground. That's what people want to see. We want to see good roads. We want to see hospitals. We want to see fenced secondary schools. Because of insecurity today, even the hospitals, we need doctors and nurses there. That's why so many of young men we have, they're going abroad to look for greener pastures abroad. And that is it's not okay. Because very soon we're going to have old men left behind and they can't do anything. We need the younger generation to take over.
Now, this picture we've painted, or the pictures we have painted, also brings to mind the indigenes. What are they doing to salvage the situation? No industries. When you're talking about ginger, for example, I stand to be corrected. Yeah. In Africa, where do you get the best and quality ginger outside Southern Kaduna? Pharmaceutical companies globally. The Chinese are all over the place. Yeah. Why is it that nobody is seizing the opportunity? There used to be General Noms who established a ginger processing company, but that died. Government had one in Kachia, it died, and nobody is talking about anything. Who is studying to know why it didn't work?
You know why it didn't?
To correct all
you know
of
why
those
it didn't
things.
work? If you are setting a factory, ginger factory, you must do feasibility. I believe Nom didn't do feasibility. He wanted a factory. He wanted to have a factory for processing. You must go through that process. Feasibility studies. Even when I traveled to US 2016, I discovered that our ginger is the best ginger. But you must have cooperatives. Get people who are ready to sponsor. And when you have the cooperative, let them have partnership with people who have money, solid money, to establish the ginger. There's politics in ginger, if you don't know.
Of course, that's why even Southern Kaduna ginger is called Kano ginger.
Yes.
When indeed in Kano, you don't have the farms.
One of my classmates has been the president of the Ginger Farmers Association of Nigeria. He's a retired military officer. But the whole thing has been politicized. We need to go back to drawing board and look at what's happened about 3 years ago. The ginger is that they poison the farms with chemicals. So many people lost so much during that period, about 2 years ago.
That brings to mind the way and manner in which all kinds of chemicals are being spread here and there. Cocoyam is gone.
Yes.
If you check, the yam people have started putting fertilizer.
Yes.
It's tasteless.
Yes.
And ginger came. There were too many losses. Yet you don't find the research centers are looking at what caused this kind of losses.
And there must be intervention from government as well. When this thing happened, there was no committee to investigate what happened. People counted their losses, and I think maybe there was, government pays them some money, but there would have been, if they had a strong cooperative, they would have written to government to pay the compensation. And then the farms too, some farms, when they get too old, you need to move to better farms.
Shifting cultivation.
People, and you can't focus on only ginger. When you are doing farming, you should be able to have goats, you should be able to have piggery, animal husbandry. You must have so many things, at least 4 streams of things that you can do, not just ginger. Even the cocoyam. Cocoyam is good for diabetic patients, and people don't know. Cocoyam is good for diabetic patients.
And honestly, it's becoming virtually extinct.
So, and those who are farming they are going, the older generation. The younger ones, they don't like cocoyam, they prefer yam. Even the cassava, they don't like cassava, and cassava is good for prostate and other things. When you boil it, cassava is good for prostate. If you don't, that is another good distance. Our food is very good, but you have to remove the chemicals from it. We don't need fertilizer for most of this. they should be able to, the ABU and other universities should be able to study and find out the fertilizer that is good for farms, or else they destroy the whole soil.
Well, maybe with the approval of this university in Kachia now, some research work will be done to salvage a better situation, to make a situation better. Now, let's look at, still talking development of the area. Now, governors have come and passed. You are talking of agrarian society and fertilizer politics. You're talking of the lack of industrialization. Look at the losses when it comes to mangoes being harvested. At the point some people just come and bargain for a tree, you go and shake and offer some peanuts. If there's nobody to buy, why is it hard to have a Jewish mango, a Jewish company in these areas?
The rich ones among us need to cultivate, do a feasibility, and then think of what to do. Processing factories, we need processing factory. Even for the yam. We have so many markets in southern Kaduna. The only one that is flourishing is just the piggery farm in Kafanchan. That is the one people come from all over the country to buy. But other things, mango, oranges, sugarcane, we need to go into it. Pineapple, we need to go into it. Pawpaw is good for BP and other things.
Vegetables?
Yes, vegetables, we need to go into it. We have so many, if you drive through from Kwet down to Zango Kata, Manchok, our people don't do dry season farming. We need to invest in dry season farming. That's another area where we can make money. Dry season farming is needed, and we need to have dams in southern Kaduna. If you have dams, fishery will be very easy. Even the piggery I've mentioned, to be easy, they need water throughout the season. So we need to look how we can crop back to improve our area.
Okay. Yes. Now, improving an area, let's look at culture, for example. Having over 50 different tribes, of course, each with its own peculiar culture.
Yes.
I mean, to what extent is that being harnessed to ensure that it is a tourism hub?
Yes, southern Kaduna is a very beautiful. Look at Kagoro, the hill alone. It's a beautiful scenery if you've been there. I stayed there for 5 years. It's a very beautiful place. You need to have hotels, other tourist centers there. Even the Kagoro Day was done 1st January. It was an opportunity for investors to go there and look at the whole place. Can we invest here? But before you go in to invest there, you have to look at the security of that area. If I put a factory here, will it be safe? These are some of the things you have to look at. Insecurity has eaten up most of these things that make it difficult for people to invest in our area. So we must secure our area. And how can we secure the area? Our local people have to do that. Right from the chieftaincy, from the chiefdom, they should be able to map a strategy on how to defend our area. Now, because I made a comment about 2 weeks ago. Can we shut down our country for 2 weeks? Let everyone go back to his village? If you go back to your village, you know who is a visitor in that village. So the issue of insecurity, you will be able to know those who are visitors, those who are creating confusion within the community. Those who are not employed, you know. Those who are into drugs, you know. NDLE need to visit all those areas. But there must be support right from the Dakachi to the senior chief, to the senior Dakachi. All the chiefs at that level before you get to the local government. The councillors, do they stay in the local community? Do they relate with people? So you must develop interest. Visiting home is very important, or else we'll hand over that area and the area will become extinct like what we keep talking. People are not even learning local languages. It's only English and Hausa. It's only English and French. It's only English and Igbo. It's only English and Yoruba. So we need to cultivate that. Maybe December, everyone should go home and spend 2 weeks at home. You have to learn how to eat the local food, pete and all this. Anzekpu like what we take, ide like what we take in my place. Acha is all these foods are becoming extinct. No one's thinking about farming them again.
And even some rivers are drying up.
Rivers are drying up. That's why I say we need dams in southern Kaduna. Government should, and that has to be the senators, members, House of Representatives, and even the State House. They should be able to plead with government. Go to Minister of Water Resources, even agree all around. They should be able to visit the ministers.
Because
Dialogue
these are already warning signals. Rivers, by now, many are gone. Whereas those days, I mean, you could see them all over. Now, one other thing is the issue of this bush burning, felling of trees. You make them, I mean, it has become not a common thing, not just in southern Kaduna. Now, if you take this road, Kefi to Kwai, there are some around Gunduma,
Yes.
I mean, and Wayaba, and
Yes.
all that. You could see those days bands of yam. But when you go there now, what you see
It's charcoal.
sacks of charcoal. Ha! Something is wrong and nobody is just taking note of that.
Yes.
If you go around Katari, take that road, you just see where people charcoal is just the stock in trade.
Yes.
No longer yam, no longer beans. What is happening? And government officials, they pass through that, they see all of this, nothing is happening. But let's look at the governors and what you call their report cards when it comes to rural development. Makarifi, when he was governor of Kaduna State, at the point he paid attention to rural areas.
Yeah.
There were openings in southern Kaduna. At the point, some people, oh, he's a Christian. They gave him a name, John.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
he said, yeah, if that is going to give me peace in my state, give my people peace, what does it take? And he did all of that. So let's look at the level of rural transformation. Do we actually have that in southern Kaduna? We'll answer all of that as we go on break. Our guest has been a former major in the Nigerian Army, a professor and expert on peace and conflict resolution. I'm talking of Andrew Aku Amboson. My name is Ben Adam Sheman, and this is Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you so much.
The program is Democracy in Action. Just a moment.
Each week, one program. The most gripping crimes. The stories you won't forget. Crimes of the week on Third Eye Africa TV. We give you stories as it was reported. Stories from the Nigerian police, the NDLEA, NAPTIP, the EFCC, NAFDAC, and the ICPC. My name is Margaret Adewale. Watch Crimes of the Week only on Third Eye Africa TV every Sunday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Star Times Channel 146. Join us.
Welcome back from this break. And yes, we are talking of rural transformation. You're talking about agrarian community. Everywhere you go is farming, farming, farming. Farmers want to farm. And when they do farm, you know, they go into bushes, but do their farming, come back, even post-harvest losses here and there. You know, how do we go the ways of Makarifi, the way he transformed villages those days?
I think what we can do in Southern Kaduna, ensure that the local governments are empowered. If they are empowered, let them have a budget, let them have a programs for the people. There are certain roles local government can handle. But the moment you have a Minister of Chieftaincy and Local Government Affairs, and it is in Kaduna, demonstrated in Kaduna, they control the budget. If money is released to them and they are autonomous, things will begin to work. Allow the local government to handle all their resources like what the state government is doing. But that means that if you are going to elect councillors, they must be educated people and people who know the pains people are going through at the grassroots. Even the chairmen, they shouldn't be politicians like some of us who are in the city. We just run back home for election, make some money and run back to the city. No. If you are going back to the village, you should be able to go back and ensure that you put a project there. Improve the primary schools. Improve the health centers. There are some areas in my place, my own children is completely cut off. We don't have roads going to Wamba. We don't have roads going to Ayu children. There's a large river there. You can't cross it during rainy season. So that road has been there since, I'm talking of 1960 something or 50 something. No road. So if you tell the local government chairman, please do this road for the people, it will to help the farmer to bring food right on the farm. But the issue of security has to be taken care of. That's why I keep saying we need to have ranches. Let's have ranches in all the states. I stumbled through a paper that I presented a long time during the Erufai time. He mentioned the ranches. And they have that in Zimbabwe and other South African states. And there is peace there. If you have cows in your farm and they run into my farm, cross over to my farm, you can't get them because there is a law that prohibits them from coming to my farm. If we can do that in Nigeria, peace will begin to unfold easily. Let's have ranches, even in the local government. Areas designated just for cows, designated for pigs, designated for goats, so that there will be peace. The moment there is peace in the local government, you begin to see improvement in agricultural production. Because you can't go to your farm and then I come there with a gun and then come and kill you and then allow cows to destroy your produce. And that's exactly what is happening.
Yes. Now, if you look at Kaura local government, for example, there are very hard to reach areas. The hills, the Kagoro hills, you go to Atakar, you join Ganawuri there in Plateau, then you come to Atakwat in Maroa.
Yes.
Now, they tend to be unoccupied areas, especially when you now move Atakwat, Riom local government, you enter Kauru local government. Each time there were attacks, the people kidnapping that is becoming rampant. The people rush to those areas because they are unoccupied.
Yes.
And we've also realized that in terms of feeder roads, you see those days when you used to have Nalda,
yes,
caterpillars can come and clear the roads. At least, I mean, some vehicles can move on. There are attacks, you call on to soldiers at the forward operation base in Kavanchan. The roads are just not favorable for them to intervene. So I think that the local governments can come in here because it is a tier of government.
Yeah.
But again, President Tinubu is saying, give the local governments their money.
Yeah.
Why are the state governors holding on to this money?
So that is where issue of accountability, we need to look at the state government properly. Why are they holding them? And that's why I mentioned it. I told you that the state governors, they appointed, they handpick people to be their eyes in the local government. If there was competitive election, and then you go into contest, that's a different thing. But the moment you are handpicked to go and take care of this local government, when it is time for election, deliver this local government to me. And that has been the problem. You may go there not with the interest of going to develop anything, but as a chairman of local government, you should be able to have a project, some serious project within 4 years you should be able to do for a local government. Some just go there to sit back and then protect the votes that may come out from that place. When it is time for election, they give you 2,500, just like that, 5,000, some 1,000 naira, some 50 naira, or 500 naira. Sharing continues like that. We are greedy, we are not disciplined, and this is a major problem. The major problem is the issue of indiscipline in our society and selfishness. People are not afraid of God. They are not afraid of the God they are serving.
Now, still talking rural. Look, I'm talking rural because I'm really, that's my root.
Yes, the same thing.
I mean, we came to the cities by, you said you went to America. It was by sheer luck.
Yes.
There are many other people waiting to even come to Abuja. They have not been able to.
Yes.
Now, if you check the days of El Rufai, he had to even match some districts, like in Kaura local government, where you had Beniki, Matua, Bondon. You now enter to Rahama Chiefdom. You pass by King Kogi. A whole stretch of just no road. They've been crying over this. I remember former SGF, Idris from Zaria.
Yes.
This man wrote and said, look, these people need these roads.
Yes.
You can't talk of development and it is city-based. And that's why you have this rural-urban drift. And they come there, they form what is called urban slums here and there. So I think that government should look at all of this because elections have come in.
Yes.
I hope some people will not be stoned because there has to be a report card. We voted you in.
Yes. What have
Show
you done?
unto us your projects.
Yes.
And I think that should be a key thing when it comes to who is going to be voted into power. So now you still look at issues like primary school in the region.
Yeah.
You look at issues of primary health care centers.
Yes.
You see rural women, I mean, they have to go prenatal and postnatal.
Yes.
They have to go all sorts of miles
Trekking.
before they. I am sorry to say this. Sometimes I become
Emotional
sentimental because my mother died on her way.
To the
She
hospital.
was taken on a stretcher, trying to reach Manchok. From Manchok, they go to Kavancha. She couldn't reach. Labor was on.
Yes.
She died on that stretcher. So sometimes when I see rural people, governors will carry Quran, carry Bible and swear. You do justice to all manner of people. We don't see it.
Yeah, we don't see it because the reason is this. The issue of chiefdoms and districts, the present government needs to return those districts as quickly as possible. Some chiefdoms discover they remove so many districts. And to return them, and these are clans that they can deliver for you. So we need the chiefs. We need the chiefs at that level. The Dakates, the district heads, we need them. So many were removed in Southern Canada. And that's the pain some of us are having. All of them need to be restored. The one Erufai took. The present governor needs to ensure he looks at that document and restore all those districts.
Honestly,
for meaningful development, because development comes from the local people, from the district down to the local government. Because if there is peace in the district, the local government will be happy. Information comes from the district to the local government.
Yes, I support what you are saying, that Senator Uba Sani should take a look at it again. Because, I mean, a situation, this is just a message for him. Rural transformation is vital.
Yes.
And I've seen that he has realized the personage, the position of a human being in terms of their rights. Yes, he appears to be doing well in Southern Kaduna for now, but I still think that these roads linking Kauru, linking Kaura, Manchok, I mean, they are very, very vital because kidnappings that are taking place that don't get reported.
Yeah.
As I'm talking to you, we let me put it this way: we had to contribute money. If I said if you contributed money, you are guilty. But these people are saying they will slaughter 4 people. They just married that same night they were taken. We have to gather kobo to set these people free. Poverty is increasing.
Yeah.
And so I think that those areas need some good roads. Open them up, even if you don't have the money now to tar them. Open them. Past Rahama. I think this is a message for Ubasani, all his friends.
Even the president. Look at, I said from Kefi to Kwe to Jos, the road is in deplorable condition. The same thing from Kwe to Kavancha. Kachia to Kwe, the same thing. Akwanga to Jos, the same thing. The roads are all bad.
So if the people are saying we are moving to join to be in mainstream governance,
so the expectation is going to be very high.
Show unto us because the expectation
is going to be very high.
Very high. Very high.
So we want to see dividends of democracy. That is exactly what our people want. Or else they can withhold their support. They can be there and they won't go out to vote. I hope you understand. You can be in a party because of anger, because of negligence, you can just sit back there and keep your vote.
Well, since Ubasani is opening up,
no, the present governor at least is reaching out to our people. He needs support, but that support we need action.
Honestly,
it's not just media. It's not just media. We are media people. I'm a trained journalist, so we are media. We can polish you through public relations sources, but people want to see the project on the ground. We want to see projects on the ground. Look at Kafanchan, look at Kafanchan, look at Kwe, look at Kachia, Zango Katap, Kagoro, all these areas, people need to see projects on the ground. Go to Guan to the same thing. They want to see. My local government is the other government, no water in my local government. People are struggling to get borehole. I said no water in my local government. So it's just borehole or well. And we are calling the local government one of the largest local government. And there's no water there.
Then on a final note, the insecurity itself. Because today, look, many people, they don't get reported because, because it's happening where, I still classify them as unoccupied spaces.
Yeah.
Cows go into people's farms. You could see people with all sorts of threats that you cannot challenge. So in terms of insecurity, to conclude, what should be done in southern Kaduna? Because at the point, people are getting some wrong signals.
In terms of insecurity in southern Kaduna, what I think is just a different idea. In Pakistan, they have places where they sell arms. Can we equip ourselves? Even with the bow and arrow we have. Bow and arrow, people can go back to it. Who is arming these people carrying AK-47? You see them going around with it. They are sponsors. So our people need to be armed. We cannot sit back and wait. Some don't even have cutlasses. Not to talk of bow and arrow, which I've mentioned. Our people must be armed.
What?
We must be armed.
Being armed is an issue of cutlass, bow and arrow now. That's what they use in hunting. What else do they have? But like government will say, protect yourself. If that is what they have, it is not enough,
we need more police. We need more police. The forest guard, can we have more of them? And they must be well trained too. They must carry weapons anyway.
And they should come to these unoccupied spaces.
Yes.
Well, it is here that we have to come to an end. We're talking of democracy in action. Is there action in terms of democracy in southern Kaduna? We have seen people moving and they've joined, the mainstream party at the federal level. So is that going to bring succor? Is that going to change quite a lot when it comes to southern Kaduna? We've discussed, this program is solely on that, about that senatorial district. And we hope that the governor, the federal government, will do a lot to salvage a situation. I want to thank you, a major, a professor who is an expert on conflict resolution. I'm talking of Major Andrew Aku Amboson. I want to thank you for coming to Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Yes. And we say, proudly Nigeria, not giving up, not running away. We remain to salvage the situation.
Yes, we're going to be here.
Thank you very much.
Our country is a great country.
Thank you very much.